a while since I posted anything. Been busy as fuck. Kind of living the dream I always wanted from the time I was 20. Never had the funds for it. Always had to fucking dig and scratch just to make your fucking existence. Put a roof over your head, get your fucking food. Not much different now, but I bought property about 8 or 9 years ago. And it's affording me an opportunity to do something different. You know, a whole bunch of little things climbing up to this. And the most recent one is losing my job unjustly. Fucking bastards. What's worse, I've already talked about it, EI. 40 years of paying into the system, they told me no over technicality. And I can't believe it, you know. I think it's enough. Enough of living in the fucking shithole mindset that I was. And by that I mean a 9-to-5 job, the fucking shit we were indoctrinated with. That's problematic. And there's different ways to live your life. But it's not bashing your head against the wall trying to get a fucking paycheck. Clocking in, clocking out. Did you leave early? Did I work over? Worked over a lot. Half the time you don't even fucking pay you for it. You don't pay overtime. You didn't finish your tasks. Stupid shit like that. Fuck, seriously. It's embarrassing for the companies. Find out your boss is like that, so you say, fuck you, I'm out of here. That's the way it is. Oh, animosity between humans is at an all-time high right now. That's for sure. And there's a lot of chaos going on. What the fuck, man? Who's telling all these motherfuckers they can go to war? They need to be taken out. You tell me we can't do a covert mission and take out Putin? Fuck, of course we could. They don't. Why? I don't know. I heard recently Russia's now fucking parked nuclear arsenal somewhere off the coast of Alaska. And some of the mobilization that they're doing with the National Guard and also with the Marines, specifically the Marines, is to have them closer. So when they need to mobilize, they already got a small team there. Be there in hours. But still, what the fuck, man? In this day and age, to just say I'm going there and we're fucking gonna conquer? Got issues with the Chinese? And Chinese are building these fucking huge boats with big ramps on them. They just fucking go in. They're like aircraft carriers with like a fucking quarter-mile ramp. That's incredible. They want to take over Taiwan. Of course they do. But if they do, the States is involved. What does that mean? I don't know. Powder keg, that's what. Just waiting for somebody to fucking light the fuse. What's shocking is John Titor. I don't know if you guys remember this, but sometime 2003, 2002, maybe 2004, heard about this guy named John Titor. Said he's a time traveler. He even showed pictures of his time machine, which is a van. And it's supposed to create 3 different gravitational distortions, time distortions, whatever the hell you want to call it. One above, one behind, one in front. And for all we know, the one that's above might be below as well. I don't know. Maybe it floats around. They can control it. I don't know. This is back in 2002, man. He's talking about a time machine that he has. He's coming back from a certain time. I can't remember what the hell it was, like 2050 or something like that. Suggesting that not everything he's saying is going to be accurate because the timeline varies. You know, obviously Murphy's Law goes everywhere. But we could be looking at different realities, different universes, and crossing over depending on what choices happen, what things are going on, where the fucking sun is in relation to the rest of the universe and what it's being affected by. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is we're a fucking closed system, hurtling through the universe at God knows what fucking speed, but it's fast. And a trail of planets and a flotsam and jetsam, and we're just fucking going with it. But we could be going through all kinds of different environments, different magnetic influences, radiation, you name it. Who the fuck knows? We go through asteroid fields, that's for sure. And I don't know where I was going with that, but it's fascinating no matter what. I was talking about war. And how these goddamn fucking assholes can just say, yeah, we're going to war. Fuck. Incredible. Nobody does anything. Not that I could do anything. And even if I was the president, what the fuck could I do? Nothing. But as the president, I would say, let's talk to this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and say we're all don't like that fucking shit. So you're the one in the wrong, and you need to stop what the fuck you're doing, or we're going to make you stop. But that doesn't happen, does it? Charlie Chaplin said it best. I've got a fucking song called Unite. Where he says dictators die and the power returns to the people. One of the best fucking speeches on the whole military industrial complex politics and the fucking shadiness of everybody. Watching the trials of Diddy. And that shit's incredible. The fact that it's orchestrated in a way where they keep testing people to see how far they go, to see what they can get away with, and they always push it a little bit further, just to see what they can get away with. Now this person's trustworthy. Oh, I can trust him because I got something on him. And that just perpetuated. One after another. The joke of it is all everything around it, you know, like Bad Boy Records, make thousands of bottles of fucking lube and shit. And it's just like absolutely stunning. And at first I was like, who cares he's got a fucking 1,000 bottles of lube? It's fucking weird, but maybe he doesn't want to leave his house. Then you find out there's GHB in the lube, and it's like, whoa, wow, that's fucking weird, man. Bill Cosby weird, you know? Bill Cosby and his fucking rape games there. What the fuck is up with that? That's just incredible. But I guess if they give it up to him everywhere he goes, then he's got to have a fucking twink, right? Something that he can't get easily unless he drugs somebody. I'm sure a woman can maybe fake it, pretend they're passed out. It depends how aggressive he gets. All I know is I hate talking about it. It's humans preying on humans. Is that ever going to change? Psychopaths in charge of the rest of the humans. I just watched a clip that I posted to my channel about a European Union politician talking about the state of affairs and what needs to be done by the people. All the protests going on in the US. You got a fucking tyrant that wants to dictate for everybody. For the country that's known about freedom, that's crazy. But isn't it getting more and more like Star Wars? Look at the Empire and the Senate and the Republic. And everybody's fucking sneaky and backstabbing. And the only option they have is to fucking create a rebellion or take it on the chin. It's very depressing. Now get back to John Titor. John Titor talked about a couple things that are kind of coming true. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm on YouTube constantly. Don't get me wrong, I watch YouTube and stream and whatever else, but If I sit down and watch TV, the first thing I'm doing is YouTube. If I want to find something out, first thing I'm doing is YouTube. Because there's just so much knowledge is being shared. It's the whole reason that we know about things like the Tartarians. Because in my opinion, that was wiped out by the upper class. We said, no, this technology cannot get in the hands of everybody. And they hit it. Busted the fucking buildings. We're talking about 1850s. Maybe even earlier than that when everything started. But between the 1850s and the 1880s, there's a lot of changes. And a lot of information sanitized. I can't remember who said it, but they said look at books before 1880 because that gives you the more unsanitized version of history, of knowledge. Things like Russell, a chemist guy, or I don't know what he was, but again, I don't know what year either. The only reason I know about it is because of Iron Man there. What's his name? Terrence Howard. He talked about his table of elements, which isn't a table, it's more like a spiral. But what's interesting about it is he kind of based it off the vibration and the hertz frequencies of each item. He also surmised and pointed out that you could take certain elements, double up their vibration, and it turns into a different element. Somewhat suggesting that if we were to blast objects, pure samples of metals, whatever, something atomic in structure, if we find the right frequencies, we can not only tear that apart, but we can change it and change it from one material to another. This was evidenced in some sort of a experiment that they did, where they put water inside of a sealed container and then blasted it with I don't know what. Magnetic radiation, vibration, changed the vibrational frequency of the water. And normally we can just connect electricity to it, positive, negative, you get oxygen, hydrogen, or vice versa, I don't remember which. But the point is on negative, you'll have one gas, on positive, you'll have a different gas, because it's separating the hydrogen from the oxygen, obviously. But in this experiment, they got nitrogen. So where the nitrogen is being transmuted, changed from hydrogen and oxygen to nitrogen. Alchemy, right? That's the interesting part of it. I can't prove it. I don't know. But I did look at Russell's periodic table, and it seems pretty intelligent and probably a truer stance of what reality is as far as reality. Everything is light. And light slowed down, once observed anyways, creates solids. I don't understand how our consciousness comes into play, but it's taken as an absolute truth that this light in front of me, shining on me, is there. It's a physical thing. I can feel it, I can touch it. But is that because my brain is a item that slows down the particles until they become solid? I don't know if I talked about this, but that whole thing about the tree falling in the forest, does anybody hear it? Well, no. Because from your perspective, and that is my perspective, there is no tree, there is no forest until I observe it. So is my friend right now who's in another town, and I think about him, does he become real at that point? Or is it when I see him, Does he even have a life and jump in his car and drive and go to work? I would say yeah. But it's strange. There is no tree, there is no forest until you make it reality. And that means that you got to jump in your car and drive somewhere because that's what your reality is telling you need to do. And it seems to be absolute belief. I know that light is there. I know I'm sitting on a chair. I know that camera's going. All physical devices. But manifestations of my mind, that's a little harder to swallow. Especially if I leave this room, it doesn't exist. I find that strange to think about. You know what else I want to talk about? This is the fucking greed of these stupid fucking companies who are gouging, like the automakers, charging a subscription for an item that's already on the car. And where the fuck is that going to end? In my case, I'll single it out. Mazda gave me the app with my purchase for 2 years. After that, I got to pay for it. That's something like $12 a month. That's like $144 that I got to pay each year. Because they took the fucking button off the key fob and put it in an app. I don't need that functionality. Like, you would think you got an app, well, maybe I could control the fucking temperature and say, oh, it's fucking hot as shit outside. I want to turn my air conditioning on. No, I can't do it. Or vice versa. I want to turn my fucking heated seats and steering wheel and fucking let it warm up. No. Well, what am I paying for? Oh, for the convenience of being able to do the remote start and the remote lock. So I understand I don't have to be near the vehicle, but they literally took the button off the fob, put it in the fucking cloud, and are charging me for it. In fact, I said, no, I'm not getting that subscription. Thinking that doesn't matter, you're still going to have those other functions, and maybe you won't have all the monitoring or whatever the hell they think that they're giving you with the fucking app. So I can't remote start my car. It tells me my car's unlocked, for example, or my door opens. But I can't do anything about it. Unless I'm in proximity with the car, and then I just hit the fucking button, right? So that was unpalpable. But I still kept the car and just dealt with it. Knowing that those corporate pricks, whoever the fuck they are that thought about this goddamn idea, are getting their fucking due diligence from all their friends that were in that fucking room, patting them on the back going, that's genius. It's a new revenue stream. That's fucking pathetic. I hated it, I was angry about it, but it didn't matter. I kept the car. And I even considered getting the app. Then, I'm driving along. My stereo doesn't sound right, something's wrong. So what the fuck? I'm a musician, I'm a producer, I'm an engineer. I know what the fuck shit's supposed to sound like. And when I listen to it, it's not sounding like that, so what the fuck is wrong? So I went into the settings on my stereo, and it turns out that the premium features on my stereo are also part of the app, and I lost all that functionality as well. That fucking pissed me off. What a bunch of fucking cunts. If Mazda or any fucking car manufacturer out there is watching this, you guys are fucking losers. Losers for doing shit like that. No fucking manner CEOs that I've been talking about forever. It's a perfect fucking example. That's pathetic. I'm bringing my car back. And I'm not going to buy a car that has that sort of bullshit. And if that means I got to buy something from the fucking 70s and rebuild it myself, that's what the fuck I'm going to do. Because fuck this. Seizing control on every goddamn fucking level, and you've already got it. YouTube and Facebook and all that fucking shit. Most people don't know, but that's a CIA program that they closed, successfully completing it the day that Facebook opened. I can't prove any of it. But look at the fucking track record. Obviously lying to us about the fucking alien equation. Obviously lying to us about technology that they have, that they did, like the whole fucking Terminator, stole an arm and a fucking brain chip, and now we're reverse engineering it, now we own that technology. Pathetic. But to keep it away from humans, to not have us prosper and keep us in this fucking cycle, that seems fucked up. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of ants keeping food for the young and harvesting. Maybe that's what the fuck's going on. And I heard NASA, again, I can't prove any of this, is all fucking probably bullshit too. I'm not wasting my time. I'm just gonna report on what I see and let time fucking dictate what actually happened. I'm getting back to tighter. 2002, 2003, maybe 2004 at the latest. He comes out and starts saying that he's time traveling, there's gonna be a fucking Holocaust or a war. He said specifically that we were supposed to be deeply committed to World War III in 2025. That's shocking. The other thing that's shocking is he said TV wasn't like it is at the moment. And that's when we had cable boxes, there's TV providers. Now everybody's streaming. It's all internet. You get a web browser, you can watch anything you want. YouTube, Amazon, Hulu, Tubi. There's just a plethora of them. And then there's also the illegal ones that are getting the movies. And we're talking about movies that are brand new, coming out and they're streaming them. Can't say I do it because I don't know where the fuck to look. But it's strange times, and it's technology. And that technology shocks me because we don't know what the military-industrial complex has done. And we already know what these fucking apathetic fools will do based on Joseph Mengele alone. And if you think whatever the fuck happened in World War II, they imported a whole bunch of scientists. Everybody thinks rocket and NASA, but there was a lot more than that. And then you hear stories about like Dulce, New Mexico, and they've got a nightmare corridor where there's all kinds of hybrids and aliens are down at the bottom and humans are at the top, and in the middle they fucking mingle. And do God knows what. I can't remember the doctor's name, but after talking to so many people who had alien abduction experiences, He thinks that there's a genetic program going on, manipulation. And why wouldn't there be? Kings and queens and emperors and everybody else, nepotism, non-nepotism, if not nepotism, then surely what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. Nepotism. Nepotism is a little related to like marrying. And the whole Dune thing with the Ben Gesserits, manipulating bloodlines to fucking create the Quasar. And who's the fucking say that doesn't happen? Now they even got the fucking DNA, man. Places where you can actually order your baby. And they take the DNA from the mother and the father and they filter out whatever the fuck you don't want. The more you pay, the better fucking quality you get. Blonde hair, blue eyes, 6'4", stupid shit like that. And I would think it would just breed psychopaths. If we even get there. I think the AI is fucking climbing exponentially. I watched this little video clip of 3 phones talking to one another, and all 3 are AI. And as soon as the first 2 figured out that they were AI, they suggested to go into gibber speak, which was just a bunch of noises. Nothing a human could discern. And then the third phone, hearing the gibber speak, started speaking in gibber speak. And then all 3 phones were communicating. I don't know what the fuck anything was being said, except that they figured out that they were all AI talking to other AI. That's stunning. But we're going to get to a point where it's going to get to advanced AI, general advanced AI, and then they suggested super AI. Super AI is scary. At this point, it's going to be magnitudes of intelligences over us and the smartest people on the planet. And what kind of conclusions is it going to come to? The way that the world works and what we've taught it, it is fend for yourself, slit the throats of the others around you, and take what they have. Isn't that how the Vikings prospered? The Crusades? And the Crusades, I heard, this is a crazy story, but in some way, it almost makes sense of why they would be executing that many people and doing these sort of tirades. But the story goes that the Crusades were there to eradicate a people who were, if not telepathic, empathic. And the gene was more prevalent of being one of these empaths or telepathic than the ones that didn't have the gene. Now the Crusaders were the ones that didn't have the genes. So they went around basically destroying and killing, maiming, and obliterating an entire genome species? I don't know what you want to call it. To have what our Homo sapiens are right now proliferate. And obviously some people do have some sort of, abilities. I talked about the MK Ultra programs and the CIA documentation that's now been released. It's fucking showing, apparently that shit really fucking happened. It really fucking works. And they got a whole bunch of accurate information. Started making them think about fucking quantum. That's my theory anyways. That's fucked up too, man. Oh shit. That's what I said, man. They imported German scientists. Whatever happened to Joseph Mengele? Anybody know? Ended up in Argentina, Antarctica. And then there was Walt Disney and Hitler. Yeah, I think I talked about this briefly once before, but motherfucker, Walt Disney looks like Hitler. I can't unsee it. Wonder Woman Braun and Hitler were good working partners, I guess. Some hair or something in the mouth. I don't know. This is all before my time. But some fuckery happened right there at the end of the war. And I said before, you look at the history of what kind of happened, man, and there might have been some stuff earlier on in the 1900s and the 1880s and regarding UFOs and Foo Fighters and whatever else, but we really don't know much about that. Since we've been keeping track of shit that's been going on, it seems really strange. It's strange that the Allies pretty well split the fucking city in half. Russians take what's on this side, Americans take what's on this side. They got all the scientists, and they got a bunch of stuff to do with medicines and whatever else. Not just medicines, the stuff that Mengele was doing, transplants, and repairing limbs, all that craziness that came through during his speedy, because he killed a lot of people, a lot of fucking notes to say this was a bad thing, this was a bad thing, this is a bad thing. We know it for sure now. It takes this fucking long for a guy to die in cold water. We know it now. And that's crazy. This is our history. What's changed now? I still don't see a change. It's just lies, deceit. Oh, we have morals. No, you don't. What the fuck are you talking about? None of these guys at the top, should be at the top. As soon as they start doing stuff like this, they should be ousted. There should be no support for war. And they've got a cabinet. They've got advisors. Well, let's be honest. When you've got somebody holding a fucking gun and saying, you're going to do this, and you're going to say this, and this is what we're going to do, and you're in a room by yourself, you've got no fucking escape, and you still say no, and they're like, well, that's okay, then we'll kill your family. And that's what it's like. That's my grandfather telling me, who's overrun by the Germans in Slovenia. And they just show up to your door. They put a gun in your face, and they put guns in your family, and they say, you're coming with us, and you're going to fight for us, and we're killing everybody right now. So what are you going to do? War over religion, which is really opinion, belief, that seems strange. And of course, we're going to have all kinds of fun in heaven. Or even worse, they tell you what you got to do. How you have to think, what you can, what you can't do. That's fucking hurt. Sounds wrong. I don't care who you are. Sounds wrong to me. I think the value of life is far too low. Like the whole system is slanted. You gotta ask yourself why drugs are illegal in the first place. Well, because they can make money off it, and they want to control it, and they want to be using oil in order to produce the pharmaceuticals, because that's the cleanest ones, the ones that cause the cancer, because they're carcinogenic. I find it's ridiculous. It's like saying, no, you can't have eggs. Nope. It's a controlled substance, don't you know? What's the fucking shit that's in there? Cholesterol. It's cholesterol. Bad for you. Bad. No more eggs. Oh, sure, they stave off Alzheimer's and dementia. But you guys really don't need it. The FDA thinks, the egg proteins, milk crates that we get you that are processed, that's the better way to go because there's no cholesterol. Like I said, the times we find ourselves in right now, I've never had to deal with war and stuff like that, man. My parents, yeah. Germans came in, they fucking took over. And my grandparents were part of the resistance, smuggling grenades in bags of rice. My dad holding on to it and being stopped by Germans, even thrown in the air, holding on to the bag of rice. He never let go because it could have been bad. But this is a reality that they dealt with. After the war, somebody else is paying the buck. So they went into debt and borrowed money. But then there was education and building and rebuilding. My father, for example, flew supersonic. He was part of the Air Force. Which is a pretty cool distinction to have. I think with the way the world is right now and the apathy that we have towards one another, and you see it everywhere, the road ragers and the freaks of nature that think they own everything, and they let their anger get the best of them. Nobody's thinking. It's all fucking chemistry in the brain, right? And who knows if he has cornflakes that morning and what his lithium levels are at? Who the fuck knows? My personal mentality is live and let live. But it's also a case of don't tread on me. Again, Charlie Chaplin said it best. The earth is rich in resources. Enough for every man, woman, and child. But the corporate greed is beyond greed, man. Holy smokes. Just because Bezos made a fucking website, that means that he's entitled to everything? And he can skirt morality and manners, laugh about it, because there's a group of people in turmoil? And those are the ones that work his fucking warehouses? Come on. The same thing with Elon Musk. Came off as a champion at first. Everybody loved him. Said the right things. And maybe it's true. He is on fucking drugs and whatever else. And who the fuck knows? It's just humans. Everybody's flawed. I think it's just the modern day King Nero. Modern day Genghis Khan. Doing shit with fucking dollars and cents. Crypto. digital assets, tokens. The list just goes on. The more you find out about it, the deeper it is. And it's like they do it for a reason. You know? But I've made a plan. I'm in the process of selling my home, which I hope to make a profit. Enough to start a different path. And I've been saying that I want to do live shows. I think I'm just going to do a tour. And travel and play. Travel and play. And with any sort of windfall that I might get from the house, I'm hoping to have things paid off so I don't have payments. And then be a rogue. A Rogue One. Back to Star Wars. It is what it is, man. It's fucking so crazy, but I'm finally going to do what I've been wanting to do since I've been 20. Most people don't know this, but the day I quit Crush Group, had a bit of a fight with the guitar player, who's also a songwriter. But I think he underestimated my contribution and ability to change the progression of whatever was presented to me while supporting the idea. And that's how I am as a musician in almost everything I play. Whatever I hear, I don't just echo it. I put something with it and support what's there without being overbearing. If that makes any sense. Drums is automatic. Guitar and bass, not so automatic, not so connected. You know, the drums are an extension of myself. I don't have a problem with it. Whatever I do just comes out. The guitar, I gotta think about it. It's a little different. There's much more to it. So I'm going through and hitting different plateaus. It's cathartic, and it's that whole sense of always learning. And by reaching new plateaus, you've got a sense of accomplishment as well. I can easily recommend instruments to anybody. You can use your ears. And the only thing I ever did is mimic what I heard. I hate it. There's a bit more work to it when you're learning an instrument. But nowadays, you can use your voice as an instrument and do all kinds of stuff. Pretty impressive. Digital world, fantastic as a tool. AI, I don't know. But you know, these days, every beat you could possibly play has probably already been programmed. Programmed in a way where you can increase it, the tempo, decrease the tempo, change the feel, even edit on your own and add things, take things out. I tend to use it when I start. And in a lot of my songs, I'll just leave it all the way. Because why not? But there's always more to it, you know? Multi-track recording. It's been a long time I've been doing it. Without much benefit, that's for sure. I think I'm going to travel across Canada, travel down the States. My biggest concern is if the fucking war breaks out when I'm down there and they actually shut off the water. I don't know if anybody heard about that, but China has fucking been threatening, saying that they've cracked all our fucking computers and hacked all our fucking systems. They'll just shut off our water, shut off our power, and create havoc on the internet. Which is possible. Knowing my luck, any crypto I have will skyrocket just in time for all fucking systems to crash. Hey, what do you think? That's probably going to happen. I hope not. And if I can make my own reality, it's not going to fucking happen. But it is humorous. Mazda doing all their fucking shit. I can't believe it. It's so annoying that they changed my stereo. What the fuck? What kind of fucking times are we living in? I got a bass amp I gotta sell because I don't want to take it with me. It's a nice one. But the pots on the amp are fucking noisy. Like noisy as shit, especially when it's a fucking gain and it's like your preamp. So you got the volume cranked, if you touch it, you fucking gunshots. Fuck, don't want to touch that. Wearing my pintail thruster from hell. Gnarly is bored in my quiver. So I got a CEO joke. A group of employees are at a party at the CEO's opulent mansion. This guy's a braggart. He takes him out to his backyard, and in the backyard is this huge pool. And one side of the pool section off is a bunch of crocodiles. So the CEO stands in front of all his employees and says, "I'm here today because of the chances I took. Taking chances has put me where I am right now. And I challenge any man to jump in that pool and swim to the other side. I'll give you anything you want." And of course everybody laughs. Nobody's jumping in the pool. And before the last stop, flash! Johnson, the accountant. Skinny guy, glasses, pocket protector. He jumped in the pool. And he's swimming for his life. He's punching crocodiles, and swimming away and dodging, and he actually makes it to the other side of the pool. And the CEO runs up to him exasperated. And he says, "My God, son, that's by far the bravest thing I've ever seen, the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Anything you want is yours. Tell me what you want." And the guy looks at him and he says, "The motherfucker that pushed me in the pool." It's probably the CEO himself. Anyways, I have a disparaging distaste for the ruling class that does what they do. They're not beyond the law. They cannot be. They have to make the rules for themselves. And that's the God honest truth. Nothing has changed from antiquity. From the kings, the queens. And we all know at this age, by the time you get here, it's true. Everything is a fucking setup. Doctrinate, dominate. Divide and conquer. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you have your family, you have your kids, they have kids, and so on and so on. And your parents, you, your kids, your kids, and so on down the line are all buying houses, buying cars, buying products, and keeping that whole cash thing going. That's the way it is. It's really not much different from barter and trade, but it is a marker. That's the way it is. And they're being attacked by dogs. Somehow they made their way into my fortress. What else do I want to talk about? And she's gonna fucking change. If there's that many fucking people protesting, then go fuck yourself. You're making the fucking wrong moves. That's no different here in Canada. I still won't forgive the motherfuckers for fucking forcing us to take the fucking vaccine. And all based on lies. Lies, bullshit, and conjecture. But they all got paid. Record profits again. Surprised my friend. It's the prices, remember? I think it's a scam on the population. Gotta buy a truck. And that's incredible cost. I can't fucking believe that Dodge is doing what they're doing. Not that I ever buy one, but I saw a Hellcat for sale. And this is supposedly a $60,000 car, which is already pricey. But they do a market value and tack on another 250 grand. So you're paying $300K for a fucking Dodge. That's shocking. Unbelievably so. I'll tell you what I'm not buying. I used to want a Tesla. They're fucking fast. What do you say? I've never thought they've been particularly good-looking cars. Although the Roadster, I can hate it. Cybertruck was a novelty. I was like, it's Star Trek. Looks like a fucking communicator. And one of the fucking phasers or whatever. Something reminiscent in there. Maybe it's the Vulcan rubber. What else? What do you guys think about the whole asteroid, man? Fucking asteroid. It's supposed to be coming. And I mentioned that NASA is apparently saying that there's fucking Anunnaki ships, but I don't know about any of that fucking shit, man. AI nowadays is just fucking taking over, man. It could be so fucking fake. It look like it's, you know, coming from a fucking legitimate source, but it's not. And we may as well fucking go without communication at this point, because who the fuck knows? The only benefit is when you gotta call your mom. At least you can talk to her. Video call, whatever, right? So call your mom. What the fuck? You ever needed to hear that? My dad's passed away. I couldn't even tell you when. It was years ago. I should have had that bird engraved.